All right, you're still watching TVC Breakfast. We now go into this very, very important conversation. Now, the federal government is accusing former Vice President Atiku Abubakar of making 3 different statements on petrol subsidy within 1 week, describing the development as a policy U-turn. The presidency says Nigerians deserve clarity on how Atiku's proposed targeted subsidy will work. Atiku's spokesperson first said subsidy will be restored and later phased out, while other aides disputed that position before Atiku's reaffirmed his plan for targeted subsidy. Joining us for this conversation is the Edo APC chairman, Edo State, Jarrett Tenebe. Good morning. How are you doing? I love how sporty you look this morning. Nice jersey, by the way.
Yes, I'm actually in Ouagadougou.
Yes, I was just about to say that. I know that you're in Burkina Faso for the Edo Queen football, events that is taking place there. Just before we go straight into our conversation, how has it been like in Burkina Faso? And also, I know that the president has spoken about some reforms, in our football in Nigeria. So just quickly want to touch that for me.
Yes, it's a good development in Nigeria football. I've been one of the people fighting to ensure the proper thing is done in football in Nigeria. If you can remember, a long time ago, I had a battle with the NFF, and we've not been able to come out of these problems. But we have always agitated that football should be open to people, so that, because football is more than a game. Until we realize that football is now business, then we don't have any reason to have people like Guso in such a place, because we believe that football is just for physical exercise.
All right.
Business is big business.
All right. Maybe another day we'll bring you to talk about this particular conversation. But let's go into our talk for this morning. A lot of people, not me, but people are saying Atiku and his team are very confused because they've made different U-turns, in statements that they had made. It's election time. So many people are saying different things. But I want you to, give us an overview of what really happened, and also what is your take on the comments Atiku said, and also what his team is saying and what he came back to say. People are now saying that how do you expect to rule Nigeria if you cannot even say one thing and actually stand by it?
Well, you see, before the last election, all the presidential candidates said they were going to remove subsidy. And our president also said he's going to remove subsidy. And when he became president and he was sworn in, it was the first thing he did, which is a difficult thing for somebody to do. And but now we are seeing the gains. You see, it's not just for somebody to contest election. After you lost the election, you go to Dubai to sit down there. You don't even know what is happening in Nigeria. When another election is coming again, you come and start making statements that would try to destroy what we have been doing and the gains we have achieved so far. You see, Atiku is confused, and I think he has no business still contesting presidential election in this country, because you cannot be having double standard in issues.
Yes, and people see this confusion as a mark of weak leadership on his part. But a lot of Nigerians still do not understand what he means by a targeted subsidy. They do not understand how that works. And if you have an idea, could you expatiate on that? And also tell us your take about the views that some Nigerians have, that this has shown us that we're going to see a lot of weak leadership from him if for any reason he becomes president of Nigeria.
Well, there's no way Atiku will become president of Nigeria, because Nigerians know him better now when he was even vice president. And we know that when he was vice president, he failed, because even the President Olusegun Obasanjo came out to any time Atiku is coming out to contest election, the President Olusegun Obasanjo will come out to try to stop him. For somebody who was vice president to Obasanjo, for Obasanjo to come out to speak about him in this manner, then you know that it was actually a bad vice president. And if you're a bad vice president, you will also be a bad president. You see, the removal of fuel subsidy, it has actually achieved a lot for the country. It has reduced government expenditure and fiscal pressure on the economy. And you see, more money is available for public service infrastructures, roads, education, healthcare, agriculture, and social welfare. And the people who are actually complaining about fuel subsidy removal are the people who are benefiting, smugglers. So, except maybe you are a petrol smuggler, before you start talking about not removing fuel subsidy. So we should look at Atiku very well to know the kind of president he is, the kind of vice president he was, and the kind of president he would want to be if he had a chance. But I know he does not have any chance of becoming president in this country.
Absolutely. Mr. Tenebe, there are some claims that that Atiku's proposal would cost 19.1 trillion naira annually. What is some evidence that is so, that is the case?
Well, what I've just told you now is removal of fuel subsidy, as we have gained a lot from it. It is putting more money in the state. Go to different states and see how much they are benefiting from removal of fuel subsidy. It is evident in my state. The governor in Edo State is working, is road infrastructure, because more money is made available to him. And if you look at almost all the APC states, it's the same thing that is happening there. So the gains of the removal of fuel subsidy is felt by the people. If you're not feeling it really good now, you will feel it. We're already feeling it. That's the reason why you have more money to states. That's the reason why you see infrastructural development all over the place. And there are even alternatives, like the people are going for alternative energy. You talk of CNG buses, you talk of electric cars. Nigerians are looking in those directions.
Absolutely, Mr. Tenebe, I don't believe that you've answered my question, but I'll lead you towards another one. I believe that the general fear around subsidy is that Nigerians are worried that it would become another avenue, unfortunately, for corruption, and that's why this back and forth between the federal government and Atiku is gaining so much leverage and coverage. What is the APC's assurance to Nigeria that this will not be the case?
Well, the corruption when the subsidy was there was higher than what you will ever imagine, because we know what happened when we had a subsidy. And that was the reason why when the president became, when he was sworn in immediately, he removed the fuel subsidy. That's the reason why even Atiku at that time, when he was vying for the presidency, even Peter Obi, all agreed that they were going to remove subsidy. So what has happened now that Atiku is now thinking of not removing fuel subsidy when he becomes the president of Nigeria? So the gains are enormous, and Nigerians are feeling them. So that's the reason why I feel that removal of fuel subsidy and the gains we have achieved so far is good, and the president will continue to achieve those gains by the time we give him a second term, which definitely he will have.
Yeah, so Atiku agreed that, yes, I was also saying that I was going to remove fuel subsidy, but I seem to know better. And here is probably Atiku's strongest political argument concerning the fuel subsidy. They said that the Nigerian finance minister made us understand that in August, that subsidy and FX reforms generated over 15.8 trillion naira in savings between June 2023 and December 2025, while also saying that government resources increased by 20.4 trillion naira and that 30.64 trillion naira in additional spending was overtaken. All fair and good, but his argument is that the government is making gains. Yes, we hear that. States are receiving more monies. Yeah, we hear that. But how much are the people receiving in their pockets? The people are having to pay high in transportation fares, in rents, in food, inflation, etc., eating deep into their pockets. That is the reason it's saying that, listen, we just have to return subsidy and do it properly because it's not well managed. Do you agree to that, to that submission?
I don't agree to it. You see, when you see a policy like this and you come up with a policy of removing the fuel subsidy, it is not an easy thing for the people to feel it because of the corruption that has been there when the subsidy was there. So it is a difficult thing for you to feel it almost immediately. That is the reason why removing of subsidy was a very hard decision that the president took, because he knows the aftermath benefit of to the people is enormous. And I can tell you that we are feeling it now, because it has given room for us to think differently from the way we're thinking. But as time goes on, you will see the gains actually manifesting in how we do things, the money we'll receive. In fact, what is happening in different states. Because you look at local governments are getting more money, states are getting more money, and that is where the people are. And those are the people that are supposed to feel it, and the people are feeling it.
Yeah. But Mr. Tenebe, a lot of people have described Atiku as one that is actually very desperate to be president. So, you know, he will say anything at any time. But then again, some people are also complaining that, you know, the cost of transportation is quite very, very high. As at this morning, we're discussing that the president has said from the 1st of October, we're going to have, you know, low cost of transportation as well. So I just want you to take it from two angles. People believe that, you know, Atiku is just saying anything, you know, to be president. But also people are complaining the reality is that transportation is very high. And also, please touch on the fact that the president has said from the 1st of October, there's going to be low transportation in Nigeria.
From the 1st of October this year, right?
Yes, please, this year, 1st of October, yeah.
So we are coming to 1st of October. And I think we should wait the 1st of October. We know this president does not say anything that he will not do, that he cannot do.
Of course, but what do you also think about the CNG as well?
Yes, is an economist, and he knows what he's doing. He has already planned this thing, and he knows how it's going to end. So I'm very convinced that from October, you will see reduction of transportation in the country.
Wow. Okay, you seem to hit the nail on the head when a question is thrown at you. Let's see if you're going to do the same with this one. All right. It is campaign period. And what we have experienced over time is that at times like this, we have back and forth between politicians, especially the politicians from the major parties, the favored parties. Sometimes it's just two, sometimes it's three. Right now, I don't know if I can say it's 2 or 3. Okay, is this one of those back and forth that we have during campaigns, or should Nigerians take this thing very seriously and look at it and use it to sort of gauge the efficiency of Atiku on one side and Mr. President on the other side?
Well, I think, yes, you gauge the two of them and know where they stand. Atiku, because of election, can say anything that he wants to do, even though he knows that this is not possible. He can say anything. And you have a president who is doing very well and who wants to continue to do very well, because for you to fix the Nigeria the president made, you need up to so many years, not just 4 years. It's not enough to fix the rot that we have had in recent time. And these things were all caused by these people. So for Atiku to come to say, I will do this, is on double standard in every policy, I don't think it's something is desperation taken too far. You see, after he loses this election, he will go back to Dubai again. Then when another election is coming, he will come. So I heard you saying favored political parties, about 2 or 3. The only political party that is favored in Nigeria is APC, and the APC is doing well, and Nigerians are not ready to change APC.
Absolutely. Mr. Tenebe, under the instance, in an interesting world that Atiku's subsidy proposal is independently audited, it is, you know, properly capped, it is financially budgeted for in a transparent way, and it's tied to domestic refining with clearly, you know, laid out exit conditions. What is the economic objection to his proposal, other than the fact that it is Atiku making it? Which brings me to the next phase of my question. even though this back and forth, it's welcome, we find ourselves in an electorally charged time where our leaders are going back and forth. How do we make sure that in the process of these political exchanges, we don't degrade down to hate speech and terrible language and insults and denigrating ways of engaging one another?
Well, it depends on how they come, because I think our campaign is going to be a campaign of ideas. It's going to be a campaign of telling Nigerians what we want to do and what we have been doing right. More other things we want to do. Well, I think we should look at the hate speech, because if you start doing hate speeches and attacking people unnecessarily, you will miss the point. Nigerians want to know what the other political party want to do differently from what we are doing. And that is what I think the campaign should focus on. What do you want to do differently that we are not doing now? Yeah. Just the way Atiku is coming out to say he wants to remove fuel subsidy. How will that benefit? The gains we have made so far, how will you just make a 360 degrees U-turn to remove fuel subsidy that we're already making gains? The gains are not gains that you can achieve almost immediately. These are things that are supposed to, within a period of time, you start achieving them. So I believe that Nigerians would see good campaigns from APC, campaign of ideas, what we have been doing and what we want to do, what we want to continue to do. The opposition, like Atiku, should come and tell us what he wants to do differently.
That's right.
On the fuel subsidy, what he wants to do differently it will be a reversal of making a 360 degrees, and that will be very cantankerous for the country.
Absolutely. Mr. Tenebe, well, Nigerians are actually watching and they are assessing what the current administration has done in the last 3 years. It is quite interesting that they are seeing for themselves. We all clamored for the removal of fuel subsidy, and it does appear as people have criticized Atiku of probably playing to the gallery as to saying that it will revert, subsidy. It is not only Atiku. It is Omoyele Sowore is also saying that subsidy would also be returned. So it is not an Atiku thing. How would the APC convince Nigerians that, listen, what we are doing is completely working at the macro level? We are getting reviews, positive reviews, recommendations, and all of that from the Bretton Woods, IMF, World Bank, etc. Investors are coming in. We're making gains, but the people only understand the day-to-day mathematics as to what has this translated on my table. What would the governors, the campaign team will be telling the people, the Nigerian people, as you are also doing? What would you be telling the Nigerian people that, listen, these are the indices, these are the indications? Talk to the governors, they are receiving more monies. Talk to the local councils, they're also getting more monies. But why you're not seeing it, it is not the fault of the president, but the governors. How do you plan on communicating effectively to the masses, to the grassroots, for them to see through your eyes?
Well, I think the gains, one of the major gains of removal of fuel subsidy is putting more money to states. And I think states have not received monies like this for a very long time. Now it is beneficial. I will use my state to make example. For instance, in Edo State, you see construction of roads, you see renovation of schools, you see a different method of transportation coming up, electric buses, different things in the field of agriculture. My governor is doing well, and it is replicated in all other states. So I believe that the removal of subsidy and the way the president has run the country, it has put more money in states, in local government, and I think they are doing very well. I'm not sure that there is any APC state where you are having complaints.
Okay. Okay, all right, Mr. Tenebe, let's quickly talk about the performance of, some of the big names that we all speak about in terms of politics in Nigeria. We talk about Peter Obi, we talk about Atiku Abubakar, and our current president, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, that you have been speaking very highly of. We've seen the reforms. But how would you rate, when we talk about Peter Obi, we talk about Atiku, and we talk about our president? What are the chances, do you think, which chance do you think each and every one of them actually has?
Well, For instance, let me talk of Peter Obi. Peter Obi was not a successful governor. He was not successful in Anambra. He didn't do well in Anambra. Security was zero. Everything that he has to do was zero. So I don't see him making it in this election. Atiku, the same thing, double standard. He can say anything because he's desperate to becoming president. And the former president, Obasanjo, has said it all. Anytime he contests this election, he knows him. He was his vice president. There's nothing to write home about him. Then you talk of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. We see the reforms. We see them working. We see how Nigeria is improving in all aspects. We're improving. It's just that the few individuals, the opposition that are blind to what the development that is going on across the country right now. All the governors of APC in Nigeria are doing very well. My governor, Senator Monday Okpebholo, is evident in our state what he's doing in security. We are all aware of what he's doing in security. Yeah. If the money is not coming, he won't work. If the money is coming, he's work. The money is coming and he's working, and the people are seeing him. The people are happy with him. All our governors are working. The people are happy with them. We just had an election in Ekiti, not quite long. We know what is happening in Ekiti. We see the road infrastructure in Ekiti. We see the agricultural development in Ekiti. In Kogi State, we're also seeing the same thing. So name it.
Yeah.
Because
of our time, because of our time,
because of what the president is
because
doing.
of our time, but also Peter Obi has been very optimistic. He believes that his alliance with Kwankwaso is going to really stand for him, and he's quite very optimistic.
Well, Peter Obi, I hope this will not be termed as hate speech. Peter Obi have brought up a brewery, a beer brewery, and Kwankwaso is a banned beer in Kano. And I don't understand why two people who cannot agree on a simple what should be in a glass, if they cannot agree, how can they the two of them run Nigeria? Yeah. I don't think there's going to be any benefit from that alliance, that coming together of Peter Obi and
but it looks more like you're oversimplifying, their alliance, because currently Peter Obi is not running Anambra's, brewery. Talking about I've forgotten the Heroes Beer is no longer doing that. That's Anambra State government. Kwankwaso is not in power as we stand. So do you not feel like that's oversimplification of their collaboration ahead of the 2027 election?
No, you see, let me tell you why Peter Obi cannot be president. If you talk of numbers, he ran under Labour in the last election, and he got about 5 million votes. And Atiku ran under the PDP, and he got about 6 million votes. Now Peter Obi has left Labour and he has gone to NDC. His votes are divided into two. So let's assume he's living with about 2.5 million votes. Then you talk of Kwankwaso vote added to that. Maybe at the end of the day, Peter Obi will just have about 3 million votes. That is the way it's going to be. And those votes that he's losing in Labour, a better part of Labour is keen into the APC. And we are having a free 2.5 million vote that is going to be added to the vote the president got before. That's the reason why I will always say that in this coming election, the president of the Federal Republic will get the votes that he didn't get in the last election. For instance, in Edo State, we are going to pull out up to about 2.5 million votes for him, which is already targeted, and we have those votes. It was clear in the last local government council election we did. In the 18 local government of Edo State, if you put all the votes together, the APC scored 2,158,600 votes, meaning that we can get those votes in Edo. So the president is going to get more votes that he got in the last election right now, in this election that is coming.
Very optimistic you are. Thank you so much for joining us on the show this morning, Mr. Tenebe. Do enjoy your time in Burkina Faso. I hear they have fantastic food, so make sure you check their food out as well. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
God
bless you.
You're welcome.